my gosh, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm also welcoming myself back to my channel because I haven't made a video in like over a month, almost 2 months, and I'm sorry, but it was also like so hot where I live and I had to work and all those kinds of things. But I'm back now, and today we're gonna talk about the 5 spiritual books I've read in 2021 that have changed my life. Like literally are the reason I'm making this YouTube video today, are the reason I reactivated my YouTube channel, is because I've read these books. So if you want this kind of feeling in your life, this kind of productivity, this kind of purpose, then you should not only watch this video like all the way through, but you should, I guess, more importantly, read the books that I'm about to tell you about. I want to give you a little background about my relationship with reading, because I really understand what it's like to not want to read anything ever besides like Instagram captions or Twitter posts. I would say for the past 10 years, that was like my main source of reading, which is like really terrible. And I really do believe that we have been programmed to be distracted and to only consume reading on our phone now. I understand what it's like to not want to read. I was an English major in college, so you're probably thinking that I read so many books. No, I'm going to tell you the number of books I read in college, and it's going to shock you. Okay, here I go. I read 2 whole books in 4.5 years of schooling as an English major. So I was assigned a lot of books to read, only read 2 all the way through, and only one of those was an assigned book. The other one was just like one I just read for fun. That's it. That's all I read in college as an English major. How did I pass? I'm a great writer and I'm also a genius. So those cards were in my favor. Also, I went to school in Nevada, which is like the lowest in education. So maybe the bar is like a little low. So I later went on to be a high school English teacher, and I still wasn't reading books. How nuts is that? Granted, I was extremely depressed as a teacher, so I wasn't even like showering, let alone reading books. But I have moved on. I'm different now. In 2021, I made a goal to read at least 1 book a month, because that is a very realistic goal for myself as someone who is not reading at all. I am proud to report that in the 8th month of 2021, I have officially read 9 books. That's right, I'm like even ahead of schedule. So we're gonna get into how these books have changed my life. Why don't we just do that right now? So this book is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I've always wanted to read a book by Eckhart Tolle because I've just heard amazing things about him. And I found this book in a thrift store when I was visiting my mom in Idaho, and she bought it for me. Thank you, Mom. I've always wanted this book, and I found it in a thrift store. Ask and you shall receive, people. So this book really is about the ego and your true self, and how the ego really is so terrible. It's what caused wars, genocide, conflicts with people you really love, conflicts with strangers. All these things come from the ego. The ego also keeps people depressed. It keeps people in addictive states. It causes people to be rude to service industry workers. So this book really really breaks down the ego and consciousness. Something that's repeated throughout this book is just saying like, I'm aware of my thoughts. We are not our thoughts. We have thoughts. That is the huge point of this book. The ego, bad. Consciousness, great. The only way to get rid of ego is through consciousness and being aware of the present moment. And then once you can realize that if I'm not my thoughts, like once you realize I can be aware of my own thoughts, then you realize I'm not my thoughts. Because how could your thoughts be aware of themselves? They can't. They're just thoughts. But you can be aware because you are awareness. You are consciousness. So this book taught me something really cool, which is when you're focusing on your breath, you are only focusing on right now. You can't focus on breath you've had in the past because it's gone. You can't like focus on that. You will never have that breath again. And you can't focus on their breath in the future because one, you're not even promised it, and two, we're just not there yet. So we only have our breath right now. So in meditation, that's why it's really important and like can really take you to a place of transcendence when you focus on your breath, because you are absolutely the most present when you're focusing on your breath. When you're in the present moment, you are at the highest state of consciousness because you're just being aware right now. And I just really like the idea of being present, and I've seen this in my own life. This is why it has changed my life, is because something the author says is like, when you're in the present moment, you're always going to know what to do in any situation because you are in the present. And I have really felt that with like talking to my friends, or like when I'm at work, when I like really tap into my presence, I'm like, oh, I know what to do, or I know what to say, or like I know sometimes that you say nothing and then that's like, that was the right thing to do. I've like really noticed that like really does work. When you're in the present moment, you're always going to know how to like get out of a situation or how to like enjoy a moment. Even something else I like in this book is the saying, this too shall pass, to tell yourself that all the time when you're having a good time, when you're having a bad time, because that will remind you that the good times aren't always going to be forever. So enjoy the moment, and the bad times aren't going to be forever. You're going to get through it. This too shall pass. This book, like any question I had about this like philosophy, the author answered. So if you like are having questions like, but what about this? I guarantee you it'll make sense when you read this book. And that's what this book taught me, and that's how this book changed my life. The second book I read this year that changed my life was Recovery by Russell Brand. Look at him. I love this man so much. I would kiss him, but he's married. I love Russell Brand so much. I watch like all of his videos on YouTube, and you should too, and subscribe to both of his channels. He has one about politics and how the media is terrible, and then one about awakening, and there's a lot of meditation practices on there that you can do. Subscribe to all of them. Support this man. Buy this book. I love him. We kind of look alike. This book, Recovery, as you could imagine, is a 12-step book. I really loved reading this book, and it inspired me to start joining a 12-step group myself. I've been going to Codependence Anonymous groups because I don't really identify as like an alcoholic or even an addict when it comes to narcotics or gambling or anything like that, but I do believe that I have some issues with my relationship with people. So my addiction really comes from like the approval of others. So I'm in recovery for that. And I have a 2-month coin and everything. And it has been like really transformative for me. And I would not have gone if it wasn't for reading this book. Viewing the world through addiction has changed my life. I was raised by addicts, and I've been in relationships of all sorts with people who have really severe addictions. And again, I identify as an addict myself, as a codependent. But when I see things through the lens of addiction, the world just makes more sense to me. And I guess I don't know how to describe that, but I know some people will like understand that. Even on the back of this book, Russell Brand puts addiction in a way that I really like and makes sense to me. He says, unless you are fortunate enough to be an extreme case, you probably don't know that you have it. Have it meaning have an addiction. So yeah, when we think of addicts, we usually think of like people on the streets, or I don't know. I guess that's kind of what I think most people think of when they think addicts. But everyone in some form has a layer of addiction, and it's not always to a substance necessarily. Oh, my cat, it just bit me. But really everyone has some form of addiction, and it may not always be to a substance. Sometimes it's to people. Like in my case, I would say I have like an addiction with the approval of others, and that it is like considered a serious addiction that they have a 12-step program for. Sorry, I had to stop recording for a bit because my cat was having an episode, as he does. But we're good now. He's almost asleep. Perfect. This is right where we want him. We're back. So, as I was saying, I've been attending a 12-step group myself for a couple months, and I'm really glad that I have this book to kind of guide me through some of the steps. He just breaks it down in a way that makes it easy to do the work and like categorize the things you need to categorize to work a 12-step program. So I really appreciate that, because that's not something I've seen in my small amount of time that I've been in a 12-step program. So I really do like that he breaks that down already and kind of gives you a way of like how to make this like inventory that you need to make for recovery. Overall, even though I'm someone that has been around addicts my whole life and has always had more of a sympathetic nature or perhaps empathetic nature towards addicts, because I just know that it's from something so much deeper than just wanting to drink all the time or whatever the addiction may be. I know that it comes from a place of pain. It comes from a place of severe pain. That is why addiction exists, because people are in pain. So I have always known that, but this book like really like confirmed that idea for me. I just liked reading about how getting out of that addiction means just taking care of yourself, watching the way you treat others, and thinking about, you know, the way people have treated you, the way you've treated others, processing trauma from childhood and beyond. There's just so much when you want to get rid of an addiction. Like, it really is, I guess, painful and difficult to do, but I mean, that's how you get out of addiction, which is like also very painful and difficult to do. So I just really appreciated this book and how it taught me about recovery and taught me about myself and people that I love. Just overall a great book if you're on a spiritual journey that connects you back to your self, your true self, which is what this spiritual journey is all about. It's getting back to our true self and living our life in a way that's very healthy for us. That's what spirituality means to me. Okay, book number 3. You've probably seen this book around as you have embarked on your spiritual journey back to enlightenment, back to your true self. So this book, You Are a Badass. Some people have probably like never heard me cuss before. It's the name of the book, okay? Okay. I really liked this book. This book was really easy to read. I read it in I think less than a week, which is awesome. I got this book from the same thrift store that I got this book from. Again, this was a book I've always wanted to read. Ask and you shall receive. The same thrift store brought me to enlightenment. This is a book I've always wanted to read, and it came to me at a thrift store, which again, my mom bought for me. Thank you, Mom. Again, ask and you shall receive. And that's pretty much what this book is all about. It teaches you so many things about how you can achieve the life you've always wanted to live. So it talks about being in a state of gratitude and how gratitude attracts the things you want, and also just makes you happier and appreciate what you have. It talks about how setting boundaries is an important way of establishing your goals and something that you're going to have to do if you're, you know, living the life you want to live. Every step you take toward the directions that you want to go in life, the universe sees that and honors that and helps you achieve your goals faster. For example, I would love and literally plan on one day making money from YouTube videos. In this video, me writing out this script that I'm like not even going off of, setting up this, reading these books, I guess, even like making this video is my way of showing the universe, look, I'm serious about this YouTube thing. I want to do this. And you know, I know that takes time and everything, but I really do believe that the universe will honor the work that I put into this. And same for you. Any goal that you have that you are like actively working toward and showing the universe that you're very serious about what you want, I really believe that the universe, or God, whatever you want to call that, honors that. I really believe that whatever you believe in will honor that. This book made me feel like I can literally do anything I want in life, which I can. And it's just all about believing in yourself, which I love, and not letting people stand in the way of what you want to do with your life, and especially not letting yourself stand in the way of what you want to do with your life. One of many things that this book talks about is creating a vision board and how that can jumpstart you to the life that you want to live. So I want to show you that I did make one. Just gonna give you a brief little look at that. Won't have to get into extreme detail there, but just know that I did do that. Universe, if you're watching, which you are, I made the vision board, okay? So just know that I'm serious. And what I love about this book is it said that making a vision board is like having a craft day with God. So if you're not going to read this book, maybe at least make a vision board. I don't know. This book is really great, really easy to read. You could probably find it at a thrift store too, or one of your friends probably has it. I guarantee you. Just ask to borrow it. This book just taught me it doesn't matter how you're going to do it, you just got to do it. Whatever you feel is right toward the steps, like certain steps you want to take in life, just do it, and then the rest will unfold. Okay, that's book number 3. Whoo-wee, this next one. I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if you're ready. The Artist's Way. You've probably heard of this one too. This book that I'm matching with is why I'm making this video today. This book has truly changed my life. I'm gonna just hold it like this. Okay, but I do have a confession. I have a confession, and I feel okay about this, but I just want to be honest. I haven't finished this book. So it's on the books that have changed my life. I haven't finished it. It has still changed my life. I'm only on chapter 4. This book, wow. Wowee wow. Okay, so this book was first mentioned in my life through one of my favoriteest YouTubers of all time, a channel called The Purple Palace, which you should definitely watch if you like art and pretty people and things. Shayna Klee is an artist, and she recommended this book to her viewers, got it, 4 chapters in, has already changed my life. This book changed my life when I was a couple pages in, so now I'm in 4 chapters, has really changed my life. Can you imagine when I actually finish it? Like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be such a completely different person. Like, what am I even gonna do? And that's something too about this book is, will I ever be finished with it? Because there's like so many exercises in here that I'll probably do for the rest of my artistic life, which is my whole life. So maybe this book will truly never be finished. So it's fine that I'm including this in the video of books that have changed my life, even though I haven't read it all the way through. I've always had this desire for years to restart my YouTube channel, but this book, I swear I would not have made the past 3 videos that I've made without this book. The Spiritual Guide to Creativity is all about unblocking your inner artist. Like, if you have writer's block or just don't feel creative, don't believe in yourself, this book is going to change the way you think about your creativity and yourself as a creator. I cannot recommend this enough. So this book also does talk about God. I feel like every book I've mentioned talks about God, but view it as God how you perceive God. It could be God in the heavens, in the sky, or it could just be the universe. It could be a higher power. Whatever, it's gonna work all the same, really, because it is God after all. The 2 main things in this book are called morning pages and artist dates. So the morning pages are when you first wake up in the morning. You're supposed to wake up like 30 minutes earlier than you usually would wake up in the morning to write 3 full pages of stream of consciousness journaling right when you wake up, and it can be about whatever you want. You just got to do it. And then you're not supposed to look at it for at least 8 weeks. So just write it down, put it in an envelope or in a journal, and just don't flip back on those pages. And definitely don't let anyone else see it, obviously. But you're not supposed to look at those entries for like at least 8 weeks. And the author swears like that is really what's going to change your life. And then another thing that you're supposed to do weekly, morning pages you're supposed to do daily. Weekly, you are to take yourself out on an artist date. And my interpretation of an artist date is kind of really whatever you want to do by yourself. So you could take yourself out to eat, or it could be like an artistic thing, like you could go out and take pictures or go paint in the middle of a forest. I don't know. It's your artist date. You can really kind of just do whatever you want. So doing those two things are going to bring out your inner creativity, your inner child, your inner artist. Your inner artist and your inner child, kind of the same thing from what I've gathered here. So those are the two main exercises that this book presents you with. And there's so many other ones in the book too, so that's why you have to like actually read the book. When I'm doing my morning pages, I'm making YouTube videos. You can tell there was like a gap in time of when I honestly, I stopped doing my morning pages and then I stopped making videos. Right now I've been very consistent with my morning pages, and look, here's another video. And the other videos I uploaded in the past, I was very consistent with my morning pages as well, and very consistent with my artist dates. I love the idea of an artist date. I love taking myself out to do things. What have some of my artist dates been? Let me tell you. One, I went to a movie one time. I went to the ocean. I literally drove to the ocean by myself one time. How cool was that? I went to this very spiritual place in Portland called the Grotto and checked out religious sculptures and altars, and that was really beautiful. Those are just a couple that I've done. I feel like I've done more, but the artist dates really taught me that I can do whatever I want. Oh yeah, one artist date I went to go see waterfalls because I had yet to see any waterfalls during my time up here in Portland, and it's always something that I've been meaning to do, but I just hadn't done. So one day I took myself to go see a waterfall, and it was so easy. When I finally got to the waterfall, I was like, wow, that was the easiest thing I've ever done. What else can I do in life? So that was a really beautiful moment that I had in light of reading this book. You are the reason I'm making this video. I love this book so much. It also taught me and made me really believe and see that I really can do anything I want in life. I love you. Okay, read this book. Bye. We're on to the fifth and final book. Another confession. I don't have this next book that I'm going to talk about on me because I lent it to a friend because I really believe in this book and I just want everyone to read it. So I don't have the physical copy on me right now, but it would also match my shirt if I did, because it's the book is called All About Love by Bell Hooks. Again, you've probably heard of this book. I don't know, but the version I had was the red version, and I'm just gonna pretend it's right here. It is, as you can guess, as you can assume, all about love. So Bell Hooks starts with creating a new definition of love, which was more of an action, and love is a way that you really help someone. Maybe I should get the exact definition. Here is her definition. I'm gonna read it off of my screen since I don't have the book. Love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. That is a really beautiful definition of love. I really like that she defines love at the beginning of the book, so then we know when she's talking about love, that's really what she means throughout the rest of the book. And she talks about love of money, love of culture, family love, relationship love, everything about love, it's all in there. It's all about love. Talks about the patriarchy and the difference between the way women love and the way men are taught to love. All of it, it's in there, and very important work to read for however you identify. The thing that really changed my life about this book was when she was talking about honesty and how withholding information is even a way of being dishonest. Reading that chapter was so life-changing for me, and I know that that's information that a lot of people already know and maybe already put into practice. But for me, something I struggle with is dishonesty, and it's usually because I don't like to make the people upset around me, so I won't always say how I'm really feeling, or I won't be honest about a situation because I don't want to hurt the people around me. But even saying it out loud, it's I'm gonna hurt people around me if I'm not being honest about a situation. My intent is never to hurt somebody. My intent is to kind of shelter somebody, but that's not being loving. That's not nurturing my own or someone else's spiritual growth. So that was something that like really stuck out to me in that book. And when I think back about reading that book, like that's really what stuck out to me. Like that really blew my mind. And I put this into practice earlier this year. There was something that I was withholding from someone that I like really, really love. And I eventually let them know what was going on. And I felt such a relief from telling this person about what was going on in my life. I really felt like so much more connected to this person that I was expressing this to. And I did like really feel love on such a deeper level from this person. And I know this person felt a lot of love coming from me by me being honest about something that I was going through. So to put that into practice and to like really, really feel that love, that was just like, I remember thinking in that moment, like, this is all I want for the rest of my life. I just want interactions like this for the rest of my life. Like I want to seek out a life where when I'm with other humans, it's like this beautiful. That really did change my life. The idea of like being honest and not withholding things either. Like that absolutely changed my life. That is something I will always have here and here because I read this book. So I want you to have very similar experiences with all these books I've read. That's why I literally made a YouTube video about them. I will list every book in the description box. Please order them from some independent bookstore. My point is, don't buy them from Amazon. We don't want to support Amazon. I almost worked for Amazon during the pandemic. I almost did. I went to the orientation and everything. And then on the day I was supposed to go to work for my first day, I didn't show up. And I wish I could see the look on Jeff Bezos' face when he found out I didn't show up for my shift that day. Buy independently. For my Reno viewers, go to Sundance Bookstore. Grassroots, go to Grassroots if you're in Reno. Okay, that is my message, my plea to you. A side note, I did listen to a Russell Brand audiobook on Audible. I just used the free trial and then I canceled and never gave them $1. That book was good too. That's just gonna be a side note. Do whatever you want. Audible, don't even ask to sponsor me. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Read books. Love one another. Remember to breathe. Remember to read. This is the way out of this like unhealthy relationships with your brain and your heart. Reading, especially spiritual books, is the way out. I like really mean that. Leave your book suggestions in the comments below. Leave a comment about a book I mentioned that you'd like to read, one that stuck out to you, maybe one that I've mentioned that you've already read before and your experience with it. Talk to me about your relationship with reading, things you struggle with, things you like about reading, how reading has helped you. I want to hear it all in the comments. Please like this video, literally smash the subscribe button. I want to get like 11 more subscribers so I can have 222 subscribers because that's like a magical number. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you see that I'm like past that number now, still subscribe anyway. And if you share, like, and comment on this video, other people are gonna see it and they're gonna know what books they should read to change their life. And that's really important to me. Keep reading, keep breathing, keep drinking water. That's a good one. Okay, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Please take care of yourself. And one way you can do that is by reading books and like journaling and drinking a lot of water and stuff and not texting your ex. Okay, bye.